Hey guys, so I'm the Nostalgia Kid, and today I'm reviewing my very first live action movie. So yeah, and I guess you could say also committing internet suicide by reviewing Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey. So. Now, I'm going to start this video off by letting you guys know I enjoy every character in this movie. And it's not because they're a woman and they're hot or whatever. Honestly, all their costumes were done very tastefully. Their personalities really stand out. And I feel like I would like to see every character in this movie fleshed out more. Honestly, even some of these characters could deserve their own movie. And I feel like honestly, the worst thing about this movie is how criminally underused I feel like every character in this movie is. Okay, now, the long and short of this movie is it's about Harley Quinn and how she's breaking out on her own, trying to define herself from Joker. Now, amazingly, that's actually where the movie gets itself completely lost. Like, it feels like it spends three-quarters of the movie just trying to figure out exactly what that means. And I feel it's the most unusual thing possible. Because there actually is a consistent story that does happen throughout the movie. And it even has characters with that story that even wind up getting what they've been after for the entirety of the movie. It almost feels like they could have done an entirely separate movie about what's going on inside of this movie, if I'm being honest. Now you're probably wondering, what do I mean by that? Well, part of the reason why Harley Quinn runs into many of the other characters that we've seen about and heard about in like the trailers and everything else that you've made, all the other advertising and everything else you may have seen, is because there is one character out of that group that you probably don't even know the name of, who is on their own separate revenge story. You're probably wondering, well, do we ever get an explanation for this like revenge story or these other little characters that exist in this whole world? Yeah, we do. Basically at the very end. And honestly, I mean, that's actually where I feel like the problems for this movie are, and that is with the editing. Okay, so yeah, the editing in this movie, in my opinion, I just am not a fan of it. The probably because the biggest reason why I'm not a fan of the editing is because it feels like every 10 to 15 minutes we stop the whole movie just so that way Harley Quinn can explain something that's happening right in front of us, and then that usually leads to an entire live action scene that was filmed and edited and put right in the middle of this like scene that was already happening. And I feel like we could have had that scene coherently in the movie, but we didn't, for no reason at all other than they wanted to stop the movie so that way Harley Quinn can explain it. So that's the biggest issue I have. It would have made more sense if we just had Harley Quinn explain it and not have a live action. Or just have all these scenes happen coherently throughout the movie. That way it's one consistent plot line. And it's one consistent storytelling motive. And then we... And then we could have had one big payoff at the very end. Okay, now, let's move on to the characters. The characters, in my opinion, they're a little bit one-note. They're a little bit one-dimensional, but all the actors and actresses, in my opinion, are doing the best they have with the scripts they were given and the time they were given on screen. And that's like another issue I have, is that you have the birds of prey, but they don't actually become the birds of prey until very late in the movie. How late? Like, if, like, well, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. You're gonna be there a while if you want to see them call themselves the birds of prey. So, yeah. Now, other than that, I mean, I feel like each character in this whole movie is criminally underused. But at the same time, I feel like this whole movie is giving the opinion that, of course, that's kind of the point. But at the same time, can we give like Nightingale, I believe her name was, the one who sings in this movie, more screen time? Can we give the cop more screen time? Can we give her more of a background? Can we give this one other character that, in my opinion, is the reason why they're criminally underused, the Huntress, more screen time? Can we even do more things in this movie to make Harley Quinn look even cooler? And I feel like that's the biggest complaint I have, is we have a movie about the birds of prey, and they don't become the birds of prey until almost the end of the movie, and then we don't have them showing off how cool they are working together again until the end of the movie, and then we don't get to see them working individually really cool until not enough. All I'm saying is that I wanted more of everything, and I feel like we only got like a little bit of Harley Quinn looking cool. It could have been more. It just could have been more. Okay, now I'm gonna go on a limb and say, in final thoughts, that this movie was trying to send a message, and it was trying to use, like, I feel like DC characters in order to send it. But in my opinion, it's not a bad message it's trying to send by any means. It is not a bad message, but at the same time, I really feel like that it was a little bit too heavy-handed with that message, and it really should have focused in on character development, telling its story, and proper editing. I mean, all the characters in this movie are great. Margot Robbie did a great job, but they didn't focus in enough on those main aspects. And you could be like, well, at least they told their message. Yeah, but I mean, now it's like, I want to say it really put a question mark on whether or not they want to do a sequel now, because it didn't make as much money as they were hoping. Also, the fact that the whole illness that is happening in the world, all the restrictions like happened like almost immediately after this movie came out, so that didn't exactly help it. And there was actually even a rumor that they were talking about recasting Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, so that's also not a great thing, because I feel like she's one of the best. She's currently the only live action Harley Quinn we have. And they're already talking about recasting her. So that's not great. I mean, maybe she'll have a comeback a little bit in the new Suicide Squad, and maybe it'll get people excited about her with that. But time will tell. And in the meantime, well, I'm the Nostalgia Kid, and I remember it, and you should too.